Greetings, my fellow judges. My name is Harvey Egen Felipe Bangun from the Sman 21 Jakarta. I'm as the first speaker from the opposition team for this evening's interesting motion. This House believes that the government should provide significant financial incentives for urban citizens to move to rural areas. Before we go any further, I wanted to start with the definitions from the motion itself. The definition from extra financial, what is it? Well, it's easy. It's financial aid. Financial aid for those people that needs it, for either for living, or for food, or for life. And rural areas are actually underdeveloped areas. The areas that actually not really technologically developed, but then in there is less population, less people. And last but not least, the urban areas. The urban areas is the counterpart of the rural areas. It's more populated. But in there is more development in technology. And also, we can all say is economically centered. More job opportunities, more lives can be restored as better lives, and also can be said center of power. And let's get to the arguments. The arguments is from the proposition team. It's like that there are benefits from moving, from people from urban areas moving to rural areas. There are benefits. They can adapt. They can be. They can live, and they can be better in those areas. They can work with the private sector, they say, and also the government can also help the area. Well, it is said for me that we're actually only seeing the benefits. But are we seeing it on the history side? Right, why we need to bring up the history side for this one? Why we need to bring anything from the history? Well, it is safe to say that we need to learn from the past so we don't make the same mistake on the future. I want to take you guys to the middle 28th century, where the Khmer Rouge happened in Cambodia by the communism. Wait, why does it have to do with anything? Because in this Khmer Rouge, people from the urban areas of Cambodia were forced. Those people were forced by the initiatives from the communism to move to rural areas. And I say that it's probably going to make something better. No, it didn't. It failed. Those people were killed. Most of them were killed. It was a genocide. And most of them didn't even survive. And then we're seeing on this motion that it is the government should provide significant financial incentives. As we can see that from the Khmer Rouge, it made things worse. Moving people from urban areas to the rural areas, it made things worse. It doesn't make it any better. Why would you? But those are pastimes. But those are like different. No. You must look from the past actions that have happened. Those people really force and they will actually cannot live in those rural areas because there's no adaptability, and they are not prepared, and they are not ready. And let me ask this question for the proposition team. Are we ready as Indonesian people for actually move from the urban areas, from the people from urban places to rural areas? Are we actually equipped with the needs for living in the rural areas? I know that the government will help. I know the government will make certain rules for this thing to happen. But are we prepared as people of Indonesia? And I'm Indonesian myself. I do not believe that we're prepared. And we are not ready yet for making this initiative, or making the government providing significant financial incentives. It's just like saying putting money for people from urban areas to move to rural places. And it cannot be done because we are not ready. The benefits can be heard and can be said, but are we ready for making the change? What are the examples in Indonesia itself? Are there any? Are there any? No, there were none. And if we want to make this significant move, we must think not for only the present, but also the future of this area. And how do we ensure that future for the next generations of children? In conclusion, this action cannot be tolerated, cannot be initiated. The government should not provide significant financial incentives for urban citizens, for urban people to move to rural areas. It is said from the history itself that it will make things worse, from the Khmer Rouge in the mid-20th century. And it is not up for the Indonesian itself that they are not prepared for actually live in rural areas, from the urban citizens to the rural areas. Thank you all, and do enjoy.